Welcome back to my Let's Play of Ratchet Clank, A Crack in Time. This is Wishblend reporting in. So, yeah, it looks like it's a great clock, but what actually it is the Insomniac Museum. So basically, it's everything that makes up a Ratchet uniform, lost levels, forgotten enemies, tantalizing videos, it's all here. So, I'm going to go right and see what we find out. Quark conference room. Okay. Server room. I guess it's a server room to basically hold a game. That's for discovering everything. Just talking. Okay, what else we got? Well, a lot. Mail room. Liagon carries a huge space vessel Ratchet would need to strafe repeatedly to bring down. As it would come down for strafing, when the carrier would open it with gun batteries and launch fighters to take him down. But obviously that didn't happen. Service elevator. So that's just the exits. And the last one, just to confirm. Okay, so just to confirm. Pole moves. We've always wanted to give Ratchet some more acrobatic moves to Harlow Lombax's animal nature. One idea was to give him a series of climbing and swinging moves to climb vertical and horizontal poles in the environment, pipes, scaffolding, etc. With the amount of custom animation required for what was basically a complex jumping puzzle, we decided to cut out Ratchet's pole moves. Oh. Ratchet conference room.
Hey there, congratulations on unlocking the behind the scenes video for Ratchet & Clank: A Crack in Time. My name is Brian Bernal, I'm the project manager, and we're going to take you around the office now and try to answer the question, who is the Agorian warrior?
When we first set out to create all the different factions in RCF2, we decided that we wanted it to be, in a lot of ways, almost like a version of high school. You have the Terracnoids, who are kind of the geeky IT guys that kind of sit off in their own little table in the cafeteria.
Do we know any girls? Who needs girls when you have pizza and a VG9800 game system?
And then you've got the cool guys, the Agorians, who are like the jocks, who are always angry and bumping each other's chests and just, you know, downing energy bars.
They've been around for 3,000 years, as other races have recorded them to be known, and they haven't evolved at all. All they do is fight. That's all they've ever done.
I think the best description I heard of that was, they have a, they're honorable, they have a sense of honor and a code, but they just keep rewriting it.
You will pay for your incompetence with your lives. We realize that every time you wish death upon us, it is because you care.
You know, me and Brian Algar, we wrote up a whole character breakdown of all like the character traits that we wanted, and we wanted them to be very honorable creatures, and we wanted to have this code of ethics that always kept changing. And then, you know, we took that and we showed it to the artists, and we had Greg Baldwin and Dave Girton start sketching different things up. They came back at us with some really funny stuff, and that's when it got sent over to the animator. So we tried to give it like enough of an outline where everyone had a large canvas to work from, but we still wanted to leave a lot of room for people to put their own stamp on it.
So at Insomniac, when we start designing an enemy, we start creating these rough sketches and diagrams. We'll typically use a program like Illustrator where we can kind of create our little maps, create diagrams of what the characters might look like. And so with the Agorians, we wanted to have different ranges of combat because we knew at that point the player would have a lot of weapons. They'd have like a sniper rifle style weapon, and some mid-range weapons, and some short range. So that's how we designed the enemies. Here we got in the front, we've got these more mid-range bombers. We've got the melee guys that are going to run up close into battle. And then of course we've got the guys that ride the beasts in the background. And these were, you know, obviously the generals. They were the leaders of the group that the players had to hunt down.
Usually for us, it's good enough just to have a drawing that really kind of captures the feel of the character, and it's up to us just to interpret that and put that into 3D. For this model, we had about maybe a week and a half to really get the high res down before we started going for the actual game asset. And once that's all done, it's sent on to Rig and the animators, and then we get a living, breathing character that you're going to see in the game.
My process is I go out, I shoot some reference, do some sketches based on observing, you know, around me, just kind of taking in what I see from, you know, other people and that kind of thing. Try to get an idea for the kind of character I want. You know, cinematics, you have close-ups, and so you can get these subtle things going on in the face. And so I can use my mirror to get that, but in the in-game stuff, I really want to get this sort of overacting, kind of loud, you know, kind of way.
Here at Insomniac, it's painfully obvious that everyone puts a little bit of themselves into every character that they work on.
Initially, they wanted to animate specifically to growl sound effects. So I growled and yelled and made myself hoarse one day, yelling in my office.
Of course, I drew on my experiences in high school because I was the varsity football player. I think it's obvious.
There's been talk that this Agorian warrior resembles me a little bit, but I don't see it at all.
Yeah. I couldn't even keep a straight face through that one. I definitely wasn't the IT guy.
I don't draw inspiration from people at the office necessarily. So as far as who the Agorian warrior is, you know, I couldn't really say. I don't know.
Okay. So big, I don't want to miss anything. More shiny. With fashion period house service handles lightning, this particular highlights its shiny reflections of nearby lights. Have a lot more detail and range of brightness and shadow. The tech team really pulled this one off. Now our scales can be slimier, a bit shinier, and our game looks a lot more polished all round. Fun factor, of course, let's not forget the fun factor of their characters. Often when a character personality is described, we learn towards architectural designs, which has been a staple for this franchise. Once in a while, we can take forms that are in a direct opposition to the character's traits to allow the personality be even more dramatic. All influences. The creature aspects of any given character have become more and more abstract, but like the tech, many of the designs are derivatives from the services and form qualities of animals. The endless number of patterns and rhythms and animal structures can add to the sense of believability. This idea of believability is hugely subjective and should be stretched as far as you can go. The question you could ask about any asset is, can I imagine that working? All these characters are described in the 3D world while still maintaining the quality of 2D world. Most of the deciding factors are for having the quality of 2D design is whether the silhouettes are clear, whether the internal details are easy to perceive visually both from afar and from a closer viewpoint, and if the overall mood or personality of the desert can be read accurately at the first read. One great aspect of this design is seeing the opposition of the force between the two related characters. Even with the contrast between the characters maintain a unified style and look which keeps them grounded in the same world or universe in RFC's case. Okay. What's this one? Sci-fi B style. Dr. Nova's and scan webs have invaded the biological star system, hoping to create a new dystopia where the villains rule the universe with him. Dr. Nefarious has brought a fair hair for dramatic and over-the-top B-movie designs. Dr. Nefarious and robotic cohorts prefer presentation and dramatic flair over functional and working designs. Yeah. That looks like it'd be nasty to bite. Okay, we're in the kitchen. Huh. Don't want to see that earlier. Argarians are dim-witted, warlike creatures who abide by an insane warrior code which will make us go along, usually to suit their own purposes. They are known to conquer civilizations at the slightest provocation and operate a travelling colosseum known as the Argarian Battleplex. During the early days of Ratchet Clank, a Crack in Time production, we decided it'd be fun to see the progress system as a sci-fi version of high school. Argarians were designed as the alphas, meaning they were the brawny, athletic bullies with limited mental faculties and a tendency to consume massive amounts of protein bars. We have a hide the old door.
Jeff is too stupid for Mr. Zircon.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call you.
Mr. Zircon does not come in peace.
I'll do the outside, then I'll check the inside. Jeez, how big is this place? HR office.
Keep the change.
The first hyperwave one, the original version of the hypersonic brain was kind of smaller and far, instead of a certain passage from the galaxy far, far away. The HPS was so destructive to the Great Clock that we needed to beef it up to a larger shape. That way it could smash through walls and be a little easier to identify at a distance. Okay. The Stellar Leviathan was the ultimate evolution of Leviathan from the tools of destruction. These sparing creatures were travelling in packs as sharks and circle of fear, and using a telekinetic tractor beam to pull it in and chop down it with a massive bite. We could not get the animation system fully rather than get going again. It used a procedural animation to undulate his body in towards destruction. We needed the time to get the core space combat working and therefore had to cut him. That's a pity. Been fun. Annoying, but fun. So another gun, this one. Ted's obvious. The RCF version of Ratchet had loads of polygons and joints. Trim away some more delicate features, creating more expressive and subtle actions. The high definition era lets us make more and more realistic characters, which is clear we're going to make our stylized characters more believable without sacrificing the exaggerated design. Ratchet Clank 1 to 3 version had 6,112 polygons. His head and hands are a bit larger, which makes him look a bit younger. Okay. Okay, where do I begin? I guess as I've gone over to that corner over there, I just do this top row. The dice crate would cycle between ammo, health and no reward. Explosive stage. If the players timed it right, they could get whatever they needed most at the time by striking it when the icon flashed up. Unfortunately, there were a lot of minor polish issues to address, and players couldn't really figure out what the symbols meant. It was relatively low cost interaction. You could only get a few bolts, a little health, and all the little damage. Ultimately decided to cut it instead. Yeah. Like other dice crate types, the dimension crate is triggered by damage being inflicted with it. Once damaged, the crate implodes, then explodes into a frame large enough for Ratchet to walk through. The inner part of the frame fills in with a portal to the bonus dimension, which Ratchet can see a preview of. Stepping into the portal will walk Ratchet to a randomly generated bonus challenge. Completing or failing the challenge walks the player back to the portal entrance. If the player sees the portal implodes, if they fail, they can jump back in for another try. Ah, that's different. Okay. Okay. No idea what the hell that's for. So I'm just going to go back to the museum. Okay, let's carry on going around. Some basic barriers. Core. Guess this is the core area where everybody works. Okay. Teleport to moon. Early design for teleport to moon. Basic concept was to let the moon with teleporters and force players to find the correct path to get the reward at the end. Before it was implemented, there was already concern about being able to orient yourself and find your way across the moons. And this design made the flaw even more apparent. Now we had a moon where you didn't know where you were, where you've been, or where you were supposed to go, whether there were practically no visual indicators to help you out. After watching more people run around in circles, it became painfully obvious having multiple paths led to frustration and confusion, so we decided to cut down the path and focus more on the gameplay of the moon. Okay, so no idea where I am. But I think that's the gist of it. Okay. I think I've gone round in a circle now. I need to head back. Yeah. Physical attachments. Our technique gives us a neat tool, ability to attach objects with physics to each other. This was more organic than our previous tool, which is creating objects with attachments built in. We also have more control over how the objects break.
Mr. Zircon cannot wait to kill you.
Lombax has done swim. Originally planned to support Ratchet swimming as we have in other titles, but in the end we decided to focus more on the faster pace, run and gun gameplay. Also, our new water is very cool looking on the surface, but we haven't dedicated the time to getting the water to look much surface quality. So that's why they basically cropped the things. Okay, so it's got the flying saucer here. The various carriers are large ship that launches away to fighters and bombers to defend an objective. They can dock with the smaller ships to put up shields for the central dome, because that's the weak point, and a large beam weapon. When the dome is shattered, the ship's brain is revealed, and swarms of smaller enemies will emerge, encircling the carrier to defend it from the amphibian ship, basically. In general, a large capital ship gameplay did not pan out as we had hoped, and the destroyers were converted into the Valkyrie boss ships. There were too many issues with attacking a static object in space. Players were constantly running into it, getting into position for a run, or struggling to fire at it in a limited amount of time. Okay, so that's that.
Mr. Zircon does not have all day.
Oh, so basically we could.
Hide sticky aliens. Mr. Zircon only wishes for kill you.
You can basically change.
Mr. Zircon is bored.
Yeah, now you can basically set. I think this is. So let's just check in. Alright, so yeah.
Mr. Zircon does not come in.
The astrolabe channels time energy ribbons through the major components of the Great Clock. Forms a large interface in the middle of the Great Clock. Several large time ribbons extending upon the building along the play areas. When we re-enter the Great Clock after Clank's awakening, it's broken, spinning oddly, smoking with broken time ribbons. When we return after Clank repairs past the facility, it's fixed with fixed time ribbons attached. Huh. Time cleaners are natural descendants of the Great Clock. They were created by orbits to be used as temporal energy eaters. They may have heard of them before. John is recorded by Sigmund. While incapable of doing major time reconstruction, they are, unfortunately, Clank able to devour and digest small temporal anomalies such as Clank's recorded cells and his time bombs. In their non-aggressive state, time cleaners are small, cute, playful creatures. However, when they notice the presence of an edible time anomaly, they swallow into vicious eating machines. I don't think I actually saw any of them. Extinct enemy. These creatures were a moon-specific race of squishy brain organisms in powered suits. They were going to use diploid monsters models from towards destruction as a base. They would communicate telepathically whenever Ratchet approached them and use telekinesis waves to pull him in an attack, similar to the Trashers in the arena. Our counter team was overbooked and we decided to go with that existing feral enemies instead. Okay, so we've done that side, so now we're on to this one. Phoenix Launcher. Based on the Predator missile from Source Destruction, Ratchet locks onto enemies and these fiery birds of prey would be released with both circling around Ratchet's head. When Ratchet fires, all the Phoenixes would descend on the targets in a fired explosion. While the weather looked phenomenal on paper, it ended up being not being a player favourite. It took too long for the Phoenixes to get into position, and from a gameplay perspective, they were exactly the same as a Predator missile. Hence, the decision made to notate the museum and focus on polishing our other weapons. That's a bit that might have been fun. Shotgun and Chuck was a submission to my Blaster and Hot weapon design contest. While it didn't win the contest, it did win the hat for one of the character artists. There's a quick version he whipped up just for kicks. Dual shotguns. Now that does look funny. Razor Talons were any sprays designed to cut through enemies in close quarters. They're based on the razor claws and tools of destruction, but as we're near the edge of the production, we lack the time to add all the core attacks necessary to make the weapons fun. Therefore, we made a tough decision to cut the talons and focus more on our ranged arsenal. Okay. Grab Spear users. When equipped with Grab Spear, Ratchet is involved in a spear made up of hexagonal tails. The default state of the sphere is lightweight and matched to its height is increased due to light gravity. In low gravity mode, it can glide further, jump higher, and travel on objects that normally could not carry his weight, but we didn't have them. The grass spear was one of 4 magnetic designs to be used anyway throughout the rocket system. It gave the players the sensation of being very light, as if being on the moon, or super heavy as if on Jupiter. The light heavy mechanic provided an empowering feeling of control and potential for some interesting platforming and puzzle gameplay, but production constraints prevented us from being able to give this gadget the love and attention it needed. So long, grass spear. The grass spear was a great idea, but the work it would have required to take up into Insomniac standards would have taken away from other gadgets used more frequently throughout the game, like the hover boots. Once they were written and working properly, it became clear you wouldn't be able to support 2 alternative modes of travel that you can activate anywhere, so Gravity Spear went out the way of the Quagmite. Huh. Okay. Babel Horn was a gadget used to hack through doorways by communicating with the furthest troopers. We also wanted players to talk to some of them using passive flashing lights. When we reached the implementation stage, we realised how much design work would go into creating all of these sequences. Since it really boiled down to a timing-based minigame without the humour of a pirate horror guise, total destruction, we ultimately decided it wasn't worth it.
Yoo-hoo! Mr. Zircon is coming to kill you.
Okay. Oh, didn't that. Nothing that way, but we've got to go this way. That's got to be one of the developers. Okay.
Mr. Zircon cannot wait to kill you.
We've been down here. So that's this half of the carried context in there. Could a data of character should hold up similar blocks of colour from distance. So basically, you need to make sure it looks good from a distance and also up close. So this. Well, that's that side of the museum done. Only took half hour. So we're going to the next other side of the museum. I'm not going to split it. I'm going to do it in one episode. So visitors. Okay. Not grind rail. I thought it might be grind rail. Gun room. Release. Okay. Oh! Cat with Heat lasers for the eyes. Now that is funny, developers. I will give you a 10 out of 10 for that one. Find the hidden cat and get basically lasers. Yeah. I wish there was a damn map. Alright, that's the... Okay. So we've done that one.
Mr. Zircon is looking to kill you.
Okay. Guess it's the hidden level.
Does not come in peace.
It's an interesting level.
Okay, Mr. Zircon is reloaded now.
Okay. So I'm guessing that's going to be the second race. Hover boot track. A hover boot race track was one of the major features in Argon Battleplex, but we had races in some of the past Ratchet Clank games, but we hadn't had any for a while. It seemed like a good time to give it another go. Alphabet was shaken up to be a fun mechanic, but it quickly became clear that getting races to the standard of the rest of the game was akin to making another fully featured game on top of Ratchet Clank franchise too. What features are there are a few variations to the tracks with a simple version of Amber's hovering along a path. You slow down the speed of pace and half hour from the player, but you're really just racing the clock and trying to stay out of its way. Yeah. I'm not going to click on the other one. Okay. Procedural arena. Basically, just procedurally putting stuff together.
Mr. Zircon requires no nanotech to survive. Mr. Zircon lives on fear.
I'm just going to die 3 times because I don't really want to do this bit. Okay, level design, core principle was emphasis on fair and not realism or civilization. The worlds are highly saturated with colour, sense of exploration, adventure, wonder, full cartoon violence, combat, non-realistic. Key to successfully level design is interweaving of gameplay, mechanic and grounding the player in the fictional world. As to our designers, we must seek to create a perfect synergy between the two. There's stuff hidden everywhere. Setup design. Joining setups are not alone are not enough. A good user environment is necessary to sell the world as a whole. In order for this to happen, the designers must have a good understanding of what their world is and how it functions. It means investigating the world to learn about its ecology and architecture. The environment should increase the fictional value of the product and make the player want to find out more about the universe. In terms of pure gameplay, it should provide obstacles and scenery that fits naturally and complements mechanics. It's also critical to involve representations from the design, art, programming to join the process, enables the designer to bounce ideas off peers, to gain the perspective of the disciplines and understand what wants and needs are.
Mr. Zircon cannot wait to kill you.
Design in theory. A fundamental level can be thought of as an exploration sci-fi world that's about the varied of fun interactions and mechanical uses. So in sort of sets up each its own micro story of things aspiring to obstruct Ratchet's pressures before they are overcome by the player. Obstacles can be things such as enemies trying to defeat Ratchet, navigation problems, and simple puzzles that must be solved. Each list session should be treated as their own little mini games that should be interesting, fun, and provide the right amount of difficulty and challenge. They should also vary the pace, dangers involved, and what skills are and techniques are going to be successful over them. Creative. Philosophy. In this game, we consider following a strong primary gameplay in the form of multiple missions and goals that emphasize exploration and addiction to the platforming combat, integrating the story and gameplay to provide a supporting function for the reused space and making the environments feel more meaningful, compelling secondary gameplay in the form of optional missions, secrets and rewards that take Ratchet to the corners of each map. Layout allows, where possible, Ratchet to tackle the objectives in any order and or multiple different angles. Boxes over there. Soft tumbleable.
Yoo-hoo! Mr. Zircon is coming to kill you.
Hello. Enjoy your snack. Okay, so that's him over there. Done them. Yeah, I come down this floor here. So it's just that's the door I came out of when I come to this side of the map.
Why do you hide, sticky aliens? Mr. Zircon only wishes for to kill you.
Yeah. So that's art section. Termites were actually based on similar flying swarm enemy resistance too. We adapted them to crawl on the ground and eat buggers and anything else that got in the way. We're always looking ways to create a new characters that are part of the environment instead of just an enemy plumped down in the spot for no reason. How does our creative use of gadgets add to the puzzle of what makes Ratchet Clank universe? leave you to these guys. Yeah, we come out of the store. Okay, gene consistency. Conceptually, these ones we can use can be all different genes, time periods, but they should have different reasons why they draw from a particular era or culture. If a character is a cowboy, then a vehicle and creature device must likely draw the same area. If we were in a futuristic spaceport, we may want to have a vehicle that has some elements of surroundings if you want to apply these from the area. Okay, I got, yeah. Okay, so that's basically just like an outdoor path. Okay, I'll come back to you in a bit. Need to finish exploring. Just a long corridor, I think. Yeah. Q&A. A farewell to crouching. Ratchet Clank media has been consistent throughout the series with a new wrench, tether and hover gameplay. It seems like Crash was taking too much real estate and control. Ratchet isn't really the type to hide behind cover and probably take shots, I suppose. He's more likely to jump into the battlefield with guns blazing as an alternative to Crash with a new wrench axe. Ready position to show the players winding up for a wrench throw or connect tether move. Downside, no more squatting on failed enemies. Okay. Animation. Upgradable arm. When you can wear any armor top of a pre-rendered cutscene, you have to rent a different version of each type of armor or the cutscene won't match what he's wearing when you go back to the game. If you play previous Ratchet Clank, you notice that Ratchet does not appear in any of the pre-rendered cutscenes. In gameplay cutscenes were because you can do a check on which armor they bought and display it on the screen. In this game, we wanted to do a pre-rendered cinematics to help tell a story and make it more personal. Our solution was to give Ratchet special armor that he can deactivate before a pre-rendered cutscene. This allows you to upgrade your armor and still see Ratchet stands aside up close and personal. So yeah, been down here. So damn easy to get lost in here. I think I've done it all apart from here.
Mr. Zircon does not come in peace.
What have we found here? The little guy used to be in a few levels. He's an animal person on a hardwood plant, and the player could pick him up, camera around, and he varies apart, quite a big jump. Unfortunately, this meant the player could look him all over the level and jump out of the world. Though we found him hilarious, we had to downgrade him from endangered species to extinct species. That means you want to be an oil but in it somewhere. Okay. For the settlement, after saving Nicole Canyon for the Algorithm phase, we want the player to be able to interact with the town flag that I'd saved and open up some optional collection quests. The area at the top of the canyon was fully completed, but we ran into problems with the level memory. There was just too much stuff in Crow Canyon, and after we started crying realtors trying to make it run. We had to spend a lot of time on that battlefield, and simply decided to simplify the area to get the level running. Some of the things we planned included hoverbot chases for Sony, a terrorite puzzle, and an optional mission to put out fires for the full guards. So we have okay. There's oil thing there. You need the oil for that bit there, but you need to get on there. Okay. Anything waiting on this side? There's stuff up there which I can't get to. A catapult, maybe a torch. Is there any like hydro plants? Oh yes, there is. These okay. Took a little while, but figured it out. I need to have two. Come on.
Mr. Zircon does not have all day.
Oh, look.
Mr. Zircon cannot wait to kill.
Come here, you. We are gonna get to the top of this cliff. Why? Because it is okay. We are making progress. Hopefully it's not too high. I suppose it'll help if I put the
Mr. Zircon is coming to kill you.
okay. It's annoying because it's just basically see if I can actually. What the hell happened there? Grab ball, grab ball, grab ball, grab ball, swing, let go. Okay. So I've got it sorted, I just need to get around that little bit there. Okay. Okay. I've got it. You have to be within range. I know this is like over an hour video, but I'll probably crop this bit. Annoying where I've got so far and it's kind of that final bit. Okay. We're making it. Wrench Leather, we tried to both test it in our downloadable games, Ratchet Clank, Future, Quest for Booty. Always wanted to make it more than standard bolt screw, and detaching the head of the wrench lets us interact with the objects from afar. We actually can now move things into place, pull balls out of objects and make them collapse, or perform a variety of non-combat actions.
Mr. Zircon does not come in peace.
Okay. Let's move these things over here. Come back here, you. Where the hell are we supposed to go now? There's nothing else really to do, don't think. Yeah, we've managed to get away over to get this. There's probably something up there. Sure enough, shot it down. Okay. So, got a skill point, you're fired. Future Frontier style. Civilizations of bigger systems have been secluded from technology innovations. As a result, their technology is old, chunky, and makeshift. Combinations of space age technology, novel construction, planets may feature iron thrusters and video screens, yet have makeshift construction and old mechanical designs of Wild West feel, with old costumes with high-tech gadgetry. Characters could wear leather vest and robe carrying a high-tech blaster. I think we have lava gun, and we've made it all the way up. So come back down for the teleport. Find the exit now. One, two, three, 4, 5. Alright. Fun with the cat and laser eyes. Let's find a way out. Yes, please. So, did you enjoy your episode at the museum? 2 hours long. Oh, there was a lot in there. But yeah, I think it's well worth doing. So,
This is Discobot. Welcome to House of Synth.
So, with that, guys, that does bring an end to the Let's Play series of Ratchet Clank A Crack in Time, and also the end to the future trilogy of Ratchet Clank. Next game in this series will be hopefully the PS4 remastered of the Ratchet Clank original story. There might be a bit of cropping issue or where it's referencing the old games, based on the ones we just played. Depends if I can speak to the YouTube algorithm people, basically say whether, even though it's literally saying I can't have it out sections because they're not in 6 different countries, because I've got my channel, I should be able to do it. But that's a fight for a future video. With that in mind, adios. See you guys around the galaxy and hopefully in the next videos. If you enjoyed it, hit the like, drop any comments, and please subscribe if you like to know when the next videos are coming out. And don't forget to ring the bell. Speak to you guys later. Bye.